I'm going to make hot cross buns today, just because I feel like it. So our batter's been standing 20 minutes. Put 2 eggs in and give it a stir. I'm doubling this because I always figure if you're going to turn your oven on, it's an old girl thing, well, you're going to make a lot because otherwise you're wasting your power. So I'm doing a double quantity, so I'm putting 6 cups of flour in here, 60 grams of melted butter, and I'm going to put 7 tablespoons of sugar in there. In here I've got 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, and 2 teaspoons of mixed spice. And I'm also going to put in there 2 teaspoons of salt, because everything tastes better when you're baking if you put a bit of salt in it, of course, and salt is good for you. So of course you've got to have the fruit. I haven't got peel and I live in the country, so I've got currants and sultanas, 1 cup of each. I'm going to have a real good job stirring that. It's going to be I actually moved it to a bigger bowl so I could get my hands into it and have a real good go at it. I've got this all together and it's well combined. If you have to add more flour, add more flour. If you have to add more water, add more water. It doesn't matter. And this is just about perfect now because it's not sticking to the bench and it's really smooth. It feels sort of springy. You just knead it your own way. There's no, it says to knead lightly, but every time I've done it or seen it done, they mix it till it gets to this lovely sort of silky quality, stretches all the gluten in your flour out, and that is probably enough. It's not sticking to the bench. Everything's well combined. Now if you've got a hot sunny day, you can grease a snap lock bag and you can put that in and sit it in the sun and it'll raise. I haven't got a sunny day and my warming cupboard isn't that warm because it's so well insulated. A neighbour of mine showed me this trick where you fill a pot with hot water and you sit your bowl on top and you cover it, and then you've got a lovely nice warm moist environment for it to rise. And I'm going to leave that for about an hour to raise, and then I punch it down, and then we're getting close to getting to the baking then. While that's proving, I'm going to make the paste that we're going to make the crosses out of. So we have 1 cup of flour. Remember, I'm doubling. 1 cup of flour, and 2 tablespoons of oil, and half a cup of water. Thank you, Molly. So you mix that to a nice gooey paste. So that you can pipe it, and then I'm going to put it into a piping bag because I've got one this year. Usually I just use a snap lock bag with the corner cut out. That's about right. So it's sort of slippery and runny, and you'll be able to force it out of your bag. The timer's gone off, and it's time to punch down our bread dough. And there's a lot of it. I will get, pretty sure I'll get 2 dozen out of that. And after this, I'm going to cut it into about 24 pieces, make my buns, and let them prove for about another 30 minutes. You can see what a beautiful dough it is. It's just lovely. I've never had it fail, I have to say. Now, normally I would weigh my dough and then divide it by 24 and then weigh my buns. That's the best way to do it. But of course, all my little button batteries from my scales have gone. Remember the old days when they didn't have batteries in them? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it into a long sausage and kind of get an idea of roughly 24 pieces. I used to just do, you can do them straight onto a baking tray, but I found that they sort of spread out and you ended up with these great big buns, which are lovely, but they are a lot to eat. They are lovely, but you know, probably about that size is a good size, and all you do is you turn them inside out, put them side by side in there. I just put them like 3 across and you get 12 in there. Makes it so much easier for piping on the crosses and all sorts of things. So here we go. Right, so I got 23, which tells me some of these are bigger than they should be. Now you get a narrow, as in width of blade knife. And if you've got a razor blade, it's even better. And you're going to slash them across here, because that's where you're going to pipe your paste for the cross on top of the bun. So you just go through and do all of that. Time to grab that paste that you made and you just run it all the way across. See where it's so much easier when you've got them side by side rather than having to go crisscross, crisscross. Oops, I'm not an expert at piping, but I'm getting by. My mix might be a little bit runny, but I don't care, it doesn't matter. It's easier than trying to squeeze it out and it won't go. Tell you I've done that. Back the other way. Right, just do the other one. Then I'll let them rise for 30 minutes and then it'll be baking time. The last part of this recipe after the baking, or not, is that you put a glaze on them. It makes them just shiny and sticky and beautiful and and remember I'm doubling again. So I'm putting 4 tablespoons of milk in here, 4 tablespoons of water, and 6 tablespoons of sugar. And we're going to melt that over the stove just before they come out of the oven. And then we're going to brush them while they're still hot. So when I've got my buns in the oven, they'll be in at 210 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes. So this is a first. I clearly made my crosses too runny. I don't care, they'll still taste good. I'm about ready to put them in the oven. Giving my glaze a bit of a stir so that it's ready when the buns come out. Now, I'm not entirely thrilled. They've come out really nice, but I think a combination of, making excuses here, combination of using a piping bag and making the mixture just a little bit runny has resulted in these funny looking buns. They're not usually looking like this. They look like they've got crosses, but I tell you what, they will taste amazing. And don't they look nice with the glaze on? This is my favourite part. I love it putting the glaze on them. Like I say, a little disappointed that they don't look really like my usual hot cross buns, but hey, learning curve. You're always learning when you use new things. You have to learn. I should have used a narrower nozzle, and I actually got a bit carried away adding water into my paste, but that's all right. They'll taste fine. I'm sure the neighbours won't say, oh no, I don't want them. It's about 10 minutes later, and there's the lovely consistency of your bun. Nice steaming hot cross bun. They are lovely and light, very sticky. So I might have one with my lunch. Couldn't wait. Very, very yummy.